Hello.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm fine, thank you. BCTV.
What's your name?
My name's Natasha John Baptist.
And what's this book about?
This book's called The One Thing About History series, and it's all based on Black history. And it's about children that meet up with a problem, and they go into the world history book and meet an inventor or scientist that helps them to solve their problem. Yeah, and it's lots of different characters that meet different scientists and inventors.
Okay. About this book, why did you come up with Black scientists and inventors?
Okay, I thought that I would write something that we could relate to as Black people, especially our children. I remember going to school, we never had any books on Black history. So it was just more or less an idea that came to me one day. I was in Waterstones and I was looking in the section and there was nothing there regarding inventors or scientists. So I went home and I started writing the series, or the One Thing About History series, regarding inventors and scientists.
In this book, there's a little story and it has a picture of Alexander Miles. What else does it have in the story?
Okay, well the story includes, it's real history but based with fantasy. So there's two children, or in the whole One Thing About History series, children that come up against a problem and they've been reading a world history book and it's magical, and it's just like they get transported into the book and they're able to go meet the inventor that can solve their problem. So in the case of Mesa and Mastura, Mesa's brother Mastura, he's got a disability in the fact that he's in a wheelchair. So he needs to be able to, they go to visit their friend who lives in a very tall building, so they got to find out how is he going to get up the stairs. And then they remember, oh, we read about someone in our book, and then they get transported into the book, and then they meet Alexander Miles.
Did they go back home and get the book?
No, they remember, they just remember. And then sort of the book opens up and then they get transported into sort of Black history kind of world, or the world history book.
But why did you choose Black history this book focus on Black history?
Okay, that's a good question. Well, in school we learn lots about European history, don't we? We have probably a month of Black History Month, but there's not very much regarding Black history out there for our children. So that's the whole reason why I thought I'll write it for the children, so that they can learn about Black people that have made a difference in history.
What's the meaning of Mesa and Mastura?
Okay, that's a very good question as well. Would I have in the back of the book as well, because names are very important, aren't they? And it's nice to know what the meaning of the name is. So Mesa, her name means to be discerning, a discerning African, and that's in Swahili, and Mastura means without blemish. So even though he's in a wheelchair, I thought just because he has a disability doesn't make him less, does it? So that's why I decided to name him without blemish, Mastura. And that's why, because you know, I work with children with disabilities, and everybody, even though you might have a disability, doesn't mean that you're not able. And that's why I included someone with a disability in the book. Yeah.
Okay. If their friend lived at the bottom, what is going to be the problem then?
Well, maybe there won't be a problem then if their friend lived at the bottom, but it's purely because he's in a wheelchair and they need to get to the top of the building. So that's why.
Okay. What's about the next series? What is it going to be about?
Well, the next book in the One Thing About History series is a boy named Mosey, and he's in school, and his pencil breaks. So you've got to be around to find out how he solves the situation of a broken pencil. It's called The Broken Pencil. Yeah.
Oh, so then after he does the same thing as what they did?
Kind of. He goes back and meets someone that can help him as well. So the one thing about history, because it is fantasy but with fact, and so they all go back and meet somebody. They meet someone that's got a problem, and they meet an inventor or a scientist or someone who can help solve their problem.
Is this book famous? Famous book?
Not yet, but hopefully young people, it's not about being famous, it's really about helping young people, young black children, and everyone, people from everywhere, to learn what a difference black people have made in the past and how it's impacted on us now, today.
Did this book come out a long time ago?
No, it's only just been released this year. So hopefully we're going to try and get it into schools so that young children can learn a bit more on black historical figures. You know, so hopefully we'll see how that goes. But yeah, it's a very new book. And there's not really anything out there like it, so we'll see.
What if you could do like a same book like this, but like a chapter book,
Yeah.
and about Black history as well?
It's funny that you should say that, because I have written another book, which is this book is for, say, 3 to 13-year-olds, but I have done a novel as well regarding a similar kind of thing called Hassani in the Time Machine, it's called. And it's a great book, but it's a lot thicker, and it's more of a novel for children as opposed to just meeting one person. They go back in history and meet very different people, not necessarily inventors and scientists, but they go back and meet different black people that have made a difference in history.
Oh, so before like Alexander Miles, before he did his plan, when he finished doing it, he labelled it.
That's excellent. That's right. Yeah, what it is, when you invent something or create something, you get a stamp to say that you created it or you invented it, and that's exactly what Alexander Miles did. He got something called a US patent, which means that he was the one that invented that specific or that actual thing. So it's called a patent number, and that's what comes with an invention or something like that.
When you've invented something, who has to let you release it?
Well, I guess you go and say, look, I've invented this, and just like, what can we think of, for instance? Let's think of a pencil. Someone invented that, didn't they? So a pencil's just a bit of lead with wood around it, but you can write with it, or a pen. And then they go somewhere and say, I've invented this, and this is how it works. And then they look and see if anyone else has made it, and if not, then they give you the patent to say that you've invented it, and it belongs to you. That invention belongs to you.
Okay, but you've made the pencil, and how comes there's more pencils that are in the shops today?
Yeah, so that one person that made the pencil, his name's probably Mr. Pencil, I don't know, for instance. He made the pencil, and then he can sell it to lots of different people, but it's that one man that made that, but it helps a lot more other people, doesn't it? A bit like the lift, or the method to close the doors, it helped keep people safe, didn't it? So people use that method to keep people safe. But it was only one man's idea, or one man at the time that come up with that thought, and he's the one person that gets his name written down. Do you understand that?
Yeah. Is there a real book with black scientists and inventors in that book?
In what, in the World History book?
Yeah.
Well, it's a book that's made up in here, but there are lots of other books that teach us about black history. So really what the thought behind it is that we need to read books to learn. We need to read books to learn, and so we go to the library or we go on the internet and we learn about these people. So it's encouraging young people to really go and learn about their history. And that's why I have a world history book, to highlight the importance of knowledge and reading and learning. Yeah.
Okay. That's what I need to ask you.
Okay, you're welcome.
Bye.
Bye.